What's up, you guys? Thank you for tuning in for another vlog that I'm going to be going over. This was July's personal growth read. As you guys know, back in June, I added the personal growth because that's what I've been doing, trying to read at least one book a month for my personal growth. Initially, it was taking me a little over a month to do so, but as I've been getting better and progressing and learning how to live with my conversion disorder, I try to read with a purpose. And for the month of July, the personal growth read was Unlearn, 101 Simple Truths for a Better Life by Humble the Poet. And I really enjoyed this book. My husband actually made me aware of this book because he heard it on the Breakfast Club. And he came home, was like, hey babe, you need to check this author out. I forget his name, but I think you might be interested in him. So I said, okay, cool. So of course we put it up on YouTube, and I had an opportunity to watch the interview with the Breakfast Club. And I said, yep, absolutely, I do want to read this book. So as far as a brief synopsis, I really don't think is necessary. I think the title kind of covers that for you guys. But what I will say is that this put me in the mind of The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, which I read earlier in the year. That was pretty much my very first personal growth read that I did for the year by recommendation of my mentor. And it puts me in the mindset of that particular book, however, with a current generation spin on it with a lot of sarcasm, which is so me because I'm so sarcastic. Just ask my husband. But that's why I really enjoyed it, because I think it puts it down in terms that the younger generation can relate to, although I'm not discrediting Joseph Murphy's book because that really helped clear me up. But we'll talk about that in another video. I have to backtrack some of my personal growth reads. But it's 101 Truths, and I want to say I probably dog-eared about 24 to 25 of the 101 truths because I felt that they applied directly to me or someone close to me that I felt like I would want to share it with, or at least give me a better understanding of whatever's going on with that particular person I may love. Because, you know, we all go through things and sometimes our paths separate, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't still have love for that person. So that's what really, I can't just say it was one thing that spoke to my soul, because it was so many different things that just made sense. Like, you know, you are so right. And one thing I will say, that Humble is a little bit, you know, walking to his own beat. And some may not necessarily agree with all of his ideologies. However, I will say he at least gets you to think that in a world where everyone's saying sometimes that you should worry about other people and, you know, you have to love others and all that other kind of stuff. He's not saying that you can't, but what he is saying is that you need to learn how to put yourself first. You need to learn how to be a little selfish at times, because unfortunately we get so accustomed for doing for others and putting others' interests ahead of our own that we begin to neglect ourselves and start to think negatively about our own selves. So I could personally relate to that, because a lot of times my husband fusses at me because he says that you're willing to do for other people, but you won't make any of those same sacrifices for yourself. And I'm like, but that's part of who I am. But as January has taught me, I must learn a balance between that and taking care of myself personally. I must find time for myself in self-care and you know, doing things just for Tracy. And a lot of times I think we forget to do that, because you do want to do for your friends, you do want to do for your family, you do want to do for your children or whoever else that's special in your life. There isn't anything wrong with that, but you have to remember to take care of yourself. And I think that's like the strongest point that he kind of puts out there, that sometimes you have to worry about yourself and you have to cut off those who don't necessarily benefit you. Not saying that you're looking to get something out of them, but if they have a toxic mentality, or they're just always negative, or it just doesn't seem like you guys are vibing anymore, that's fine, because people grow, people change. And who's to say you all's paths may not meet up again, but for right now, it probably would be best for you to separate for your own mental health and theirs, because mental health is so important. I think that we've become accustomed to just saying it's okay, I'll get over it, it's not that big a deal, when sometimes we do need to say it is that big a deal, I'm not going to get over it like this, and learn how you need to make that separation and change on that end. But the very last truth that he has listed in the book is for you to write your own. He leaves you a few pages to do so, but he says that this is the most important chapter in the book, for you to write your own story, for you to say what you're going to do from here on out. And he even asks you to send a copy of your story to him. I haven't written mine because mine is constantly changing on a daily basis, but I do have a journal where I catalog major thoughts for on a particular day or in a particular moment that I feel like I want to revisit and reflect on. Is part of my self-care and my personal growth and the journey that I'm on. So if you're looking for a read on a deeper level with a little bit of sarcasm, a little bit of hip hop and all of that, I definitely recommend reading Humble the Poet's book, because it can help. I never know who watches the videos here. I never know who I'm able to reach, but I know that this is what my journey is right now, for me to share my love of books and to try to get you guys interested in reading some books that you might not have considered otherwise. So thank you for always watching and tuning in. But yeah, I think you should read this book. I believe he's working on another book, and he also is a rap artist and of course a poet, but I haven't heard any of his music per se. But as far as his book, I definitely recommend it. So you guys should read this one and find ways to make your life better. Now, I have one more read for July. It will be coming up next, but unfortunately I don't have the copy of the book because, one, I've misplaced it. But besides misplacing it, my children sort of attacked it a little bit and it lost its cover, unfortunately. But I will still talk about it, and it's the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass coming up next. And that, of course, is from our story reading list. So tune in for the very next video coming up soon. I'm sure it should be one of these little for you to pick. So I'll catch you guys next time. As always, happy reading and happy listening. See you next time. Peace.